You ever seen this before
Foot
in
binding.
Asia? How they
Oh, yeah. How they wear those little shoes and then they get like these feet that are all cracked and shit and like, oh, look at that x-ray. No. They look like it looks like a hand that's trying to grab something like
know.
or you know what it also looks like? It looks like two skeletons that are yelling at each other.
Yeah.
Like this is
look at the
you got
Google
these
images
open
I
mouths.
sent you.
Those
Look at the
those
Google-
aren't feet anymore.
Look at the Google images I sent you, dude.
No. Why? Why did they do this though?
It's because they don't.
Was it a form of like
No, I
What?
think they do it because
was
like
the custom of applying tight
upper class.
binding to the feet of young girls to modify the shape and size of their feet. The practice possibly originated among upper class court dancers during the 5 dynasties, the 10 kingdoms period in 10th century China, then gradually became popular among the elite during the Song dynasty. Foot binding eventually spread to most social classes by the Qing dynasty, and the practice finally came to an end in the early 20th century. Bound feet were at one time considered a status symbol, okay, as well as a mark of beauty. Like, how is that beautiful? It's fucking horrific.
Did
Yet,
you see the images
foot
of the
bind, yeah, like if somebody showed me their foot, I'd be like, oh, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, that's not my idea of beautiful. They look like oh man. So yet foot binding was a painful practice and significantly limited the mobility of women. Oh, so maybe the idea was that
They don't have to work.
they don't have to work. My feet are so f***ed up that like I can't even walk. And that's how wealthy I am. I don't even have to
Exactly.
move around. People have to come to me. Like
Exactly.
yeah. So you know what I mean? This is like, imagine it's like you're essentially nerfing yourself. That's what
Yeah,
you're doing.
you are. You're
You're
nerfing
you're
yourself.
you're so goddamn OP at life that you've decided I'm gonna have to nerf myself, and even when I nerf myself, I'm still better than you. Oh, that's gangster as shit. Lotus feet, that's what they called it, resulting in lifelong disabilities for most of its subjects. So it's like they're so gangster that they will wreck themselves for the rest of their life just to prove a point. Feet altered by binding were called lotus feet.
Oh my
And lotus feet, dude. Oh my god.
pictures are brutal.
Wow. Do they still do this?
I think it's banned.
How are you going to ban that?
Some people do it in secret.
Oh, these toes. What? The toes in the middle of the foot. What the shit? They just smashed it all in there.
I know, dude. Did you did you look at the pictures?
Yes? Oh, her foot is cut in half.
I know.
Oh. Dude, what would that feel like to like slide your fingers in between there? You know what I mean? Like, what if her husband has a foot fetish and he's just like sliding in between her foot?
You seeing those, dude? Oh,
I guarantee you there's some sick bastards out there that look at this and they're just like, what'd I do to get a hold of those feet?
no, dude. No.
I can't believe this. How? So people still do this.
Yeah.
Oh, like the
Did you
way
not
that
know about this
the way that
before?
the toes kind of
funny.
curl around his foot, it looks like a hand like cupping the bottom of his foot. That is creepy.
Do you see how they have to get their toenails clipped by someone else?
I can't believe this, dude. So notice how these are all elderly people. This woman right here, Han, is this a woman? I hate
Yeah,
to,
the woman.
you know, this day and age, you shouldn't identify people by gender. You know, people get all sensitive. So, let's see here. Yes, woman. Okay, so I bet in her day, and she probably still is. She's just crushing it, and she's like, you know what? Like, there's nothing else for me to do. I can't believe this, man. Oh, that is so goddamn nasty.
He loaded his feet up, dude. Holy crap.
This is making me ill. You know, I respect it. I respect it for what it is. Like, I get what they're doing. I wouldn't do it. Like, you imagine, like, if one of our socialites or elites all of a sudden decide, like, you imagine, like, if one of the Kardashians was just like, so I learned about
Lotusing up.
lotus feet. You know what I mean? And then they got really into that. Like, dude, everybody's got to like, if you can't lotus feet, that's because you're a broke bitch.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
And so they just start lotus feeding it up, and then before you know it, everybody's copying. So everybody's getting lotus feet because they want to be like the Kardashians. And then before you know it, you've got this whole society that can't even walk.
Yeah. Lotus feet, dude. Yikes. They just bend the toes and
That's amazing.
shoot.
Oh man. And you know what's even more gangster is that the people that did this are doing it in an age without all the pain medication. Well, I don't know. I say that, but I guarantee,
They just got
you know, no, they were using opium for
Oh,
sure.
yeah, that too.
For sure. They're in China. China definitely had opium.
What's crazy though is if you see things like this picture, what if someone like found those skeletons, you know, one day and they're gonna be like, why did these humans evolve differently? Their feet are shaped this way. You know?
Hmm. That's a good point.
Yep.
Oh man, foot binding, huh?
Crazy.